Antigua and Barbuda considers a social partnership approach to governance, and in sport, West Indies aims to avoid an ODI series defeat at the hands of Bangladesh. I'm Ricardo Robertson. This is Caribbean in 10 for Wednesday, July 25. I'll be back with the details in just a moment. The government of Antigua and Barbuda is considering a more structured approach to governance through social partnership. The consideration follows a recent visit to the Republic of Georgia by Prime Minister Gaston Brown and his participation in a forum on open government partnership. We get more in this report from Garfield Burford of ABS Television.
Prime Minister Brown says joining that partnership is easier for this country because his government is already committed to those principles. He says it's in a bid for even greater transparency that the government will be creating a more structured avenue to engage more civil society groups in the national discourse.
A formal body comprising members of the government and the wider civil society, and to come up with an action plan, one in which we could agree to certain targets and to work collectively towards achieving them.
He insisted what is needed for more open engagement is a broader base of partners at the table instead of the narrow political dialectics of government and opposition.
The space that we have created for participation has been dominated by political elements within the society, so that every issue invariably is reduced to a partisan issue. So I'm of the view that having this structured approach in which we invite them to participate in the decision-making process, that will help to undo some of the misinformation, the false information, the fake news that our opponents continue to perpetuate and in some instances, utilize to create mischief within the society.
Police in Barbados have launched a major investigation following the seizure of approximately $3 million Barbados dollars worth of illegal drugs on aboard a yacht yesterday afternoon. Lawmen said 3 people are in custody. Although they did not identify the trio, local media have reported that 2 businessmen are among them. Acting on a tip-off, the Royal Barbados Police Force's Drug Squad unit conducted an operation on board the Barbados registered luxury vessel at the Bridgetown port around 1 p.m. yesterday and found the contraband. Up to Wednesday morning, no charges had been laid. The Court of Appeal in Jamaica has reserved its decision in the challenge filed by incarcerated dancehall artist Vybz Kartel and 3 others against their 2014 murder convictions. After defense lawyers wrapped up their submissions yesterday, President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Dennis Morrison, said the case will be given some priority attention. He said he had no intention of giving a date when the ruling will be delivered. The registrar will advise of the date when judgment will be handed down. Kartel, whose given name is Adidja Palmer, fellow dancehall artist Sean Storm, whose real name is Sean Campbell, Kira Jones and Andre St. John were sentenced to life in prison for killing Clive Lizard Williams in August 2011. Their lawyers argued during the appeal that the quartet's right to a fair trial was prejudiced by several factors, including the admission of contaminated evidence during the 17-week murder trial. But prosecutors insist that the integrity of the evidence remained intact and urged the court to treat the message as an admission to murder. Stay with us, your Midday Sport is next.
Surf just takes on a whole community of its own, and what's so great is that it's a surf community that you're building in other countries and other areas, and you're bringing these group of people together, and they don't need to speak the same language, but they can surf and they can ride that surfboard.
Her passion for what she believes is unmatched.
I wanted to get to the point where you can shake me off that perfect piece.
She's a book-off radio host, philanthropist, and motivational speaker.
And I said, I'm going to write you a check for $10,000, which I'm not.
Spirit, soul, and body.
To get them some help through the transition.
I'm Karita D, and you're listening to Girlfriend Get a Life.
West Indies are eyeing improvement as they look to force a decider at the weekend and avoid a series defeat when they face Bangladesh in the second one-day international of the three-match series today. The day-nighter at the Guyana National Stadium will be pivotal to the Windies halting their losing trend in ODIs that has seen them slumped to 9th in the ICC rankings, 2 spots below their Asian opponents. While reflecting on the first ODI, head coach Stuart Law said yesterday that he was expecting an improved performance, especially with the Windies aware of what was required.
I thought we started well in the first 10 overs. We had great intensity in the field. We hung on to a chance early on, and their bowlers, stuck to the plans really well. It's unfortunate that we managed to create opportunities. We just couldn't grab hold of those opportunities, and take nothing away from Bangladesh. They put on a great partnership for the second wicket, and we were unable to break that till late in the piece. But the bowlers, we as I say, we created opportunities. Just got to hang on to them in the field. And with the bat, we lost too many wickets at crucial times. We need to not only put on partnerships but create a big partnership. You get 1 or 2 big partnerships in a 50-over game. It goes well for posting a big total. So a few areas we need to work on. The boys understand where they have fallen down and where they need to improve, and we've got another chance to get it right tomorrow.
Over to hockey now. Guyana's Stickmet went down to Mexico 3-0 in the CSE Games fixture yesterday. HGP's Kristen Mackenham reports.
Coming off of a winning performance in their opening match, Guyana's men's hockey team took to the field on Monday against the #1 seed and defending bronze medalists, Mexico. Guyana adopted a more defensive structure than they did in the previous match, and this made it difficult for Mexico to make any meaningful inroads in the Guyanese goal area during the early part of the match. With the halftime approaching, the Mexicans broke the Guyanese defensive wall, and a desperation tackle gave a penalty stroke to Mexico. Standout player for Mexico, Francisco Aguilar, converted the stroke to give Mexico a 1-0 lead at halftime. The second half saw Mexico take control of the match as their superior experience and fitness began to create more opportunities against the fading Guyanese side. Aguilar converted his second penalty stroke in the first minute of resumption and completed a hat-trick with a field goal in the 52nd minute. Mexico's 3-0 victory places them at the top of Pool B, while Guyana will need a win against Guatemala on Wednesday 25th to secure a semi-final spot.
And that's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.